Opening up the NBA season, of course, we have to bring in Jay Michael from USA Today. Michael, how are you?
Great. Wonderful.
That's always good to hear. The Boston Celtics, quite an opening right there. The Boston Celtics, obviously they finished 56-26 last year. They still have Garnett. Paul Pierce probably will not be a go to start the season. They still have Ray Allen. What can this team build on, and do you think they will make a postseason appearance this year?
I think they're a cinch to make a postseason appearance this year. The question is how far they go. The problem that the Boston Celtics, are going to have, in my opinion, they are so aged. And these guys always run into injury problems, even when you have a season, an 82-game season that's spaced out a little bit better. I don't see how physically they hold up. And I think the only way Boston is able to go deep into the postseason is if they sacrifice games in the regular season, which means instead of being a top 4 seed, maybe they enter the playoffs as a 6 seed, but they enter the playoffs healthy, which then will allow them to make a run deeper into the playoffs. And I think that's significant. I mean, you could say that about a lot of veteran teams, but given the kind of history Boston has had over the past couple of years since they won the championship last time, I think they're in a unique position in regards to that. So I say they make the playoffs, but how deep they go depends on how much they put into the regular season.
Let's head to the Midwest with my Chicago Bulls. Obviously the 1 seed in the East last year. Phenomenal MVP, Derrick Rose. Carlos Boozer is still there. I know that we've talked on the phone behind the scenes that Carlos Boozer, his biggest problem is his defense, surprisingly, with a coach that emphasizes defense and is known for defense. Do you see them still grabbing the 1 seed this year?
I definitely do. They did it last year. I think they do it this year because they're a little bit better by adding Rip Hamilton. They have a better scorer from the 2-guard position, and I think that also alleviates some of the pressure on Derrick Rose to go out and be the man and be the leading scorer every night. Sometimes you need your point guard to be a distributor, to be more of a facilitator, and I think Rip Hamilton will help allow Derrick Rose to be that and take some of the pressure off of him. And again, the shortened season, the multiple games in so many nights, and I think that's a necessary component in order for them to get over the hump. When it comes to defensive players who you could consider a weak link, which, Boozer would be with the Bulls, there are a lot of teams that have weak links. I mean, last year, the Hornets had Marco Bellinelli as their starting 2-guard, who is not a very good defensive player. But the Hornets were a great defensive team. And you just have to scheme around that. And coaches find ways to help a guy like a Bellinelli with the Hornets, like Boozer with the Bulls, to help them get by. And you have to come up with a team concept to help facilitate that.
The team that America absolutely loved to hate last year, the Miami Heat, do you think that they go back to the NBA Finals? Do you think that they win a championship? And do you think that their roster is good enough, much improved than last year?
I say no, they don't win a championship. I'm not so sure they go back. I'm actually leaning towards the Chicago Bulls to make it to the NBA Finals this year over the Miami Heat. I think the Heat's roster is somewhat improved. They got Shane Battier, who's a good guy to defend the wing position, kind of help LeBron and Dwayne Wade out in that regard. They drafted the point guard Cole, who, it depends on, and late in the first round, it kind of depends on how he develops and how he shakes out. But I think, the problems that I saw with the Heat last season, to me, wasn't as talent-wise as it was the way you solve a 2-3 matchup zone defense. To me, it was basic basketball. And that comes from the IQ. And I'm not saying they're not intelligent guys or I'm questioning them. Rick Carlisle for the Dallas Mavericks, the coach of the Mavericks, was an excellent coach, and he confounded them with his schemes. Mm-hmm. And I think it was more about that. And I think a lot of teams are going to look at what the Mavericks did to beat the Miami Heat and use bits and pieces of that to contend with them this year. There are 2 greater athletes on that team with LeBron and Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade that guarding them one-on-one necessarily isn't the best option. And I think teams are going to come up with ways to get the ball out of their hands and make them into jump shooters. The greatest weakness I still see in the Heat that I'm not sure they've solved is the center position. They had prospects of getting guys, there was talk about them going after guys like Tyson Chandler and some of these other centers in the league to kind of help put them over the hump, but they still haven't solved that position. They can't go in the low post still to anyone on the low block in the crunch part of the game in the last 2 minutes to win it. Everything that they have to do comes from the perimeter. And if you play a correct zone defense, you don't let them, you make them perimeter shooters. And so I still think that's their Achilles heel.
Oklahoma City has a very, very solid core players, Michael. Obviously, they have Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, who could put up 35 points any night that he wants. Kendrick Perkins, solid on the block. Sometimes gets in foul trouble, but solid on the block. And James Harden out of Arizona State. They have a very solid 4 players. Who else do they have after that? And do you think that they could even make a trip to the NBA Finals?
I'm actually picking him to make it to the NBA Finals out of the West. Serge Ibaka, a power forward for them. I think he's going to be emerge. He started to emerge a little bit last year. He's a great shot blocker, but he also has a great face-up mid-range jump shot. And the only thing Oklahoma City needs is a consistent third scorer out of that starting lineup. You got Westbrook and Durant, who will go for 25 to 30 every night. The only thing you need is the third guy to kind of step up and give you that 15 to 20 points a game. And their biggest problem is from the shooting guard position, Thabo Sefolosha only averages about 5 or 6 points a game. So they have to find a way to solve that. And if they find a way to solve that and get that third scorer, I think they get over the hump and they make it to the finals.
Out here in Los Angeles, people are going absolutely mad about how they did not acquire another player. What is the one position that the Lakers absolutely need to make a run?
They need the guard. I think they got to come up with a solution at point guard. And to a slightly lesser degree, I think they need to figure out the small forward position. The reason why I say point guard, Derek Fisher is a proven guy. He's won rings.
But he's old. He's getting old.
But exactly, and I was going to get to that point that, yeah, he's a proven guy. He's got these rings, but he's not, to me, the guy at this point in his career who's going to lead you to a championship. And right now, they have a young guy, Darius Morris, who's played behind him, who's actually played very well in a couple of preseason games that he's appeared in. He's a 6'4" guy. He's a good shooter. But the question is, is he ready to step in that role? I don't think Coach Mike Brown is going to trust him as a starting point guard. So you still got a team that's thin at the guard position. And you still have a team that's not certain about its small forward position because it looks like they're either going to start Devin Ebanks at small forward and put the Meta World Peace, who was formerly known as Ron Artest, they're going to move him to the bench, and he will play the role that Lamar Odom played in previous years as a sixth man for the team. And so can Devin Ebanks average 12 to 15 points a game from that spot? He's a second-year player. He only made 20 appearances last year. He never played in the playoffs with the Lakers, so he's kind of an unknown quantity there. If he doesn't pan out, that creates a whole nother list of problems for the Lakers. But I would say the point guard is the main position, not only in terms of scoring, but in terms of defending, because Derek Fisher tends to get torched by elite point guards.
The defending champions, the Dallas Mavericks. I know that you told me Oklahoma City and Chicago are in your NBA Finals. How come you're not putting Dallas in there?
The problem they have is they have like 6 new players. They lost half their roster from last year's team. And so to me, when you come in with that many new players, and especially when you lose a guy like Tyson Chandler as your center in the middle, Tyson Chandler was the difference in the Mavericks' defense. The Mavericks' defense, as I've mentioned previously about how they shut down the Miami Heat, Tyson Chandler was the reason for that. He led them to this championship on the defensive end. So without him, how do you adjust? And so you got to come up with all of these guys and try to acclimate them to a new system and try to find a way to win a championship. I just think when you have that much turnover, I don't think you can come back and win another championship. Can they make the playoffs? Yeah, like the Lakers, they will. But can they win the championship? I just don't think so.
The team that has grabbed, obviously, all the headlines this past offseason with their humongous trade, landing Chris Paul, the Los Angeles Clippers. Do you think that they are deep enough to make a run, or are they just going to make the playoffs, maybe get to the semis and get knocked out?
I think the Clippers have a chance if, and this is a big if their front line can produce, meaning not Blake Griffin is your starting power forward, DeAndre Jordan is your starting center. They're going to do what they have to do, I think. But the question is, who's going to step in behind them in reserve if one of them gets hurt and misses 3 or 4 games? Who's going to step up and fill that void to help them get over the hump? The Clippers are a guard-heavy team. They got like 5 or 6 guards, and that's, they're the deepest team in the league at that position. But they're really thin. When they traded away Chris Kaman, their 7-foot, one-time All-Star center, to the New Orleans Hornets to acquire Chris Paul, they lost some of that depth at the center position. And so they're going to have to find a way with Brian Cook, with rookie Trey Tompkins, to kind of play in the low post almost by committee to help fill in for those guys. As a result, I don't think the Clippers are going to, make the NBA Finals, but I think they can make the playoffs. I think they can win a first-round series, maybe even a second-round series and surprise some people. But I think they're 1 year away, one more significant post player away from making that happen.
Look, I've been watching Brian Cook for a long, long time, and I have seen him play since his University of Illinois days. And if you are counting on him to put in some significant minutes and to really play some solid defense, you might as well sign someone else, because I don't see anything from him. I really don't.
I didn't say that he would do it. I'm saying in order for them to be able to get to that point, he would have to. He's a stretch shooting power forward who doesn't pretty much like to play that much in the paint.
Right.
So unless he can transform his game, the other option, like I said, Trey Tompkins, the rookie from Georgia, I'm not going to put that much stock in a young guy playing in that position in the trenches. So I think they have potential with Trey Tompkins. I just don't know if that's going to be enough to get them over the hump. But maybe their guard play is so great that it kind of nullifies that. Once again, though, I'll say they make the playoffs, they win a first-round series, they go back next year, find another center to back up DeAndre Jordan, and then maybe we can talk about the Clippers being threats to win the Western Conference.